Wow. Short and sweet, all apart from that last track, which wasn't sweet at all. It was quite a cynical worldview, really. But welcome to tonight's live studio guest. You've just heard the first three tracks. I think we are going to have time to squeeze one more in right at the end, as long as you don't do a 12-minute epic. Because tonight's live studio guest, Tim Lee. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How's it going?
Very good. Sorry that we've kept you waiting a bit tonight, but well worth the wait for us. Three great songs.
Rushing straight from work, which is why I'm stood here.
You're looking very
like an
smart.
estate agent.
I feel underdressed.
Playing punk rock.
And then you just play some real kind of rocky tunes then for us. The first couple of those tracks you played there were featured on a live album that you've got out at the moment, which is called Don't Be Apologetic.
Yeah.
It came out on Boxing Day. I always remember this. I think it might be the only record that's ever been released in the history of music on Boxing Day. Any significance to the date?
Not that I can think of.
For a start, you missed the Christmas rush. You could have sold absolutely thousands.
This is it. Well, I thought, what to give someone who's got everything on Christmas, after Christmas.
Yeah.
My live album.
Yeah. And it was an album that you recorded in a church, I think.
Yeah, a good friend of mine from college puts on sort of folk gigs in Wigan. He's amazing. He's like a proper sort of old hippie sort of guy, and he's just so into music. I've sort of badgered him for a while to let me come and play one of his gigs, and it's a great place. It's Wigan Parish Church, and they use like the natural acoustics in there. It sounds really good.
Yeah, so, there's nothing quite like, I think, playing in a church.
Yeah.
I've been.
I've not done it before. It's my.
I did February. Have you?
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
It's fantastic.
There's something about the acoustics. It's incredible. It just nothing else quite sounds like it. And the sort of you look up and there's an amazing kind of just something above you. Usually, I'm guessing you're used to playing gigs in kind of sweaty bars. And, there's not that much.
Can you tell from looking at me? Is that what it is?
Well, I've seen you play live a few times, festivals and various things. I mean, you've always recorded albums. I always feel like you get the real picture with you live. It's very different. I love hearing the albums because quite often you fill out the sound with other instrumentation.
Yeah.
But live, it's always a very kind of raw experience.
There's
which
no safety net, really, is there? You know that from playing live. There's no kind of, especially when you're playing either on your own or just a couple of you.
But I hear your songs and your voice just in a very raw setting like that, just the voice and the guitar, and the lyrics of your songs often are extremely kind of important to put across. A lot of them from personal experience. And I think sometimes it's nice to hear those songs in the way I presume they were written on acoustic guitar.
Yeah. Mostly. I tend to be pretty honest with my lyrics and stuff, which it does kind of put you on the spot a bit, especially when you're out there on your own. And I'm not like a naturally confident person, so to sort of stand out there and bare your soul, it would be easier, I think, to go out there and do covers and things. But
I mean, that never comes across to me. I've seen you play live solo, let's say, a few times, and you always seem extremely comfortable up there.
It's that kind of nervous energy, I think, that you put in. you learn that.
But what makes you want to do that up there solo? If that's it feels so kind of wrong in some ways to you.
I suppose the other side of it is you've only got yourself to blame if it all falls apart. Really, there's less variables to worry about when it's just you and a guitar.
You've been in bands though before.
Yeah, quite a few. I play bass in a band at the moment, so I try and sort of keep that side of it as well.
Yeah, this is Brave New World. Now you've got an album coming out with Brave New World, haven't you?
It's just a few songs, like an EP. But yeah, that was good fun to record actually, because I've never really played bass in a band before, so it was a bit
How
of a
did that come
curve.
about?
It was just a friend of mine that said that a band were looking for a bass player locally, and I thought I'd give it a try, because the bass is an instrument I've always been interested in, but obviously, unlike the acoustic, you can't really play it by yourself that much. So
it's not really a solo instrument particularly, unless you flee from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. But you're enjoying that? Are you a front man in that? Are you singing or?
Not really. I do some sort of backing vocals, but it's quite interesting because I've always played guitar. I've played guitar in many a friend's band, but never bass. And I think you learn the importance of the bass once you play it. I kind of used to what's the word? Not really think of it as that important, but it's kind of the cement really between the drums and what's going on at the front. It kind of fills in all the gaps.
Yeah.
So as soon as the sort of bass stops, you can tell. It's one of those things that you don't notice until it's not there.
But the rigidity of the bass and the drums together, where you have to really lock into a
sometimes,
a rhythm.
well, it's quite interesting to go against that as well, and sort of you play like the root notes with the drummer, but then it's quite interesting to go off that as well and try and do some funky syncopated stuff.
Yeah, but you, what it was,
if you can, which
you're locking into a drum beat, whereas obviously when you're playing solo, you only lock into what you're doing.
Yeah.
So have you found that one has influenced the other? Do you find that playing the bass has changed the way you play guitar solo or anything
Well,
like
I
that?
think when I was sort of trying to learn bass, because I'm really into, as well as rock and rock music and folk music and things like that, I'm also quite a big Motown fan and also quite a big ska fan, and both of those are very bass heavy. Mm-hmm. So I think it's the sort of bare bones of the song, and it's quite interesting to see it from that point of view.
Yeah.
So makes it more soulful, I think.
Yeah. No, and sometimes that comes across in some of the songs, particularly on Headspace. There's some kind of soulier sounds at times, soulier moments on there.
Yeah.
Speaking of Headspace, because obviously that was the last studio album, you're working on a new solo studio album.
Yeah.
When will that see the light of day?
I've been working on this one for a long time. One of the main reasons is I decided to do something completely different to the last one, so it took me a lot longer to so instead of, like, Headspace was quite an acoustic sort of album, and it had a lot of acoustic instruments on it. Mm-hmm. On this album I wanted to go a lot more back to what I used to play as a teenager in people's garages and things, like a more sort of straightforward, not straightforward, but like very much more direct sort of rock music.
Yeah.
And be much more conversational with my lyrics as well, so it's it's even more honest than Headspace, really.
Right. Which was very honest indeed, and I think that album,
yeah, definitely, yeah.
So this is delving even deeper into your
and I've also
own
been
psyche.
I've been trying to learn how to use Pro Tools as well, because I sort of produce my own stuff.
Yeah.
And that's been a learning curve, to say the least, because I've been using the same sort of free beginners software for the last 10 years or so. It's called Music Maker. It's like free with a magazine. And it was brilliant. It was really good. But I thought, I'll give something else a go. I'll give Pro Tools a go. And it's like learning another language. And even when you go on like YouTube to help you, they're all talking a completely foreign language.
Yeah.
So I'm getting there. I'm starting to learn the basics. So yeah, it's getting there. So hopefully in the next, to answer your last question, in the next couple of months, I'm hoping to start mixing it properly and get it together.
Right. Well, we look forward to that.